guys, welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about my fan-made scripts part 3. So, if you guys don't know this, I made a fan-made script. And the reason why I made it was pretty interesting. So, the fact is, I was at first going to just do a video talking about what I would do if I was making episode 9. Not that I can make a better movie than the guys who are making it, but I do at least have an idea of what I wanted to do. So, instead of just doing a video though, I decided, you know what, why don't I do something to actually show you guys what I'm talking about. So I decided to make a homemade fan scripts, and then I took that script and made a slideshow, and for you guys, I made part 1, I made part 2, and of course I made part 3, and then I of course did my explain videos, part 1 and part 2, and of course this is part 3, so you guys can go ahead and go watch that. Links to all of that in the description below. Have fun with it. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and talk about part 3, why I did certain things. Let's go ahead and do it, assuming that you've seen not only 1 through 2 and part 3. So let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing I want to talk about is General Hux again. So the fact is, they're going to redeem Kylo Ren. You know, and I even went somewhat the redeem route. I actually don't have a problem with the redeem route. I think it's actually a pretty good idea. But I still want him to somewhat be the villain. So I don't like the idea of bringing someone else in. I really like the idea of an established person like General Hux. I think General Hux is perfect for this. I think an established villain, already established in the show itself, to not only portray Kylo Ren, but actually try to get a hand over the good guys would just be great, and I think General Hux is the perfect character to do it. And the whole scene that I had with how General Hux died, like, I really liked the idea of the Darth Vader choke grip from Kylo Ren. I think that would be amazing to see. It's not really important, but I thought that was a really nice Easter egg that I did. I like the way that thought went in my head and on the thing. So let me know down in the comments below. Do you like that? Did you guys like the idea of General Hux being choked by Kylo Ren and dying from the Darth Vader grip? Like, I really thought that was cool. And then the thing I want to talk about next is Reylo. Okay. Before anyone just kills me over that, look, the love story thing works. Okay, it does work. It worked with Darth Vader. It will work again. You don't have to go too serious with it. You don't have to go in too deep. Like the shirtless scene with Kylo in episode. What was that about? Oh. Moving on. The fact is, I like it. I like the idea of them having that connection. They obviously have a connection through not only the Force, but just having some type of connection to where, and I thought searching for that would turn him into Kylo. The opposite, I thought that could be a really good parallel, and that's the way I wrote it. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, I think they're going to go the whole love route, and I really don't want that. I like the way I did. Like, it's the love route, yes, but it's not the romantic stuff. It's just that. It's the story of Darth Vader. I mean, that's the whole thing with Star Wars. Now, the original trilogy, yes, you can chop it up to be Luke's story, but the way the prequels made it, it's really the redemption story of a good man. Turning from the fall of him and the rise of him. So, I feel like having his grandson go through the same thing would just kind of be interesting. So, I think it would work. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys like that or not. A lot of you don't. A lot of you won't. And I can understand why. I can understand why so many people won't like the way that I went with my story. So anyway, other than that, the next thing I want to talk about is Anakin Skywalker. So I had that whole scene with Anakin Skywalker here, and the fact is, like I said before, Star Wars is really it was supposed to be the story of Luke, but it has turned into the story of a man. It's turned into the story of a fallen man and then his redemption, right? And of course, it's his story. It's story of the Skywalker story. It's Darth Vader. It's Anakin Skywalker. So not to mention him in Episode 9 would be a darn crime. I highly doubt that he will show up in Episode 9. I don't think they're gonna go that route. I want it. I want that route. I want to see Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker in Episode 9. Please make this happen. I would love it. I don't think there's a chance that that's going to happen. But if they don't mention him in Episode 9, then I'm going to be really, really mad. The fact is, this was originally his story. It's the story of Darth Vader, the story of Anakin Skywalker, the fall and rise of. And to retcon all of that, and not mention him in the final part of the story, would just suck. And this part of the story is really just supposed to be about his family. It's about Kylo Ren and his parallels to his grandfather, right? So not mentioning him in Episode 9 would be a crime. So at least they would mention him. But as for my Episode 9, of course I'm going to have him show up. Of course. But really, this scene with a little bit of a change of dialogue, this scene could still work with Luke Skywalker, and it's a very important scene, of course, because it's the scene where Rey kind of comes into her own and decides whether or not what she's going to do, and she understands Kylo Ren, she understands herself, and she understands what she needs to do. And that's what that whole scene was about. It was a very important scene, and I loved writing it. I absolutely loved writing it. Now, the whole thing about Kylo Ren's backstory, here's the thing. Fix all the problems with the original, not the original. We can fix all of the problems with this new trilogy if we just learned Kylo Ren's backstory. We need to know Kylo Ren's backstory. That's the most important thing. And in Episode 9, I feel like if we don't have at least something about Kylo Ren's backstory, then I feel like Episode 9 would be a waste. I really, really do. We need to learn something about Kylo Ren's backstory. We need to learn why he didn't really like his father. We really need to learn why he feels betrayed by his mother, why he feels like Snoke, why he felt like Snoke was the only one he could trust. We need to establish the fact that he had a relationship with Snoke while he was a young boy. And we need to establish why Luke, and this is really important, guys, why Luke does not want another Darth Vader to happen. Why Luke went all the way to the point where he was about to kill his own nephew. We need to understand that. And I think that's really, really darn important. We need to understand why Luke went to such an extreme. And I feel like with Kylo Ren's backstory, we would learn that. So, I definitely had in my version. And I had a lot of fun writing. I had a lot of fun writing. I really, really did. I really, really did. So, and then the last thing I want to talk about is the C-3PO and R2 scene. So, they've always been sort of the heroes. They do something heroic in every movie. It sets for the new trilogy. I feel like these are the original droids, guys. Let's have a heroic moment for the oldies. Not the new ones, of course. BB-8's going to have his amazing scene in Episode 9. I'm fully aware of that. I accept that. But I want a hero scene with R2-D2 and C-3PO. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? I want to see C-3PO and R2-D2 do something crazy, put their own lives on the line to save the galaxy. To save the galaxy. Now, that scene could have gone in a million different ways, but I feel like, and they wouldn't do it on purpose, but I feel like them trying to destroy the Darth Vader castle, and just so happens to kill Kylo Ren as well, I feel like it just felt right for me to write that story, right? The way I was writing it, I feel like it just worked. It really just worked in there. Now, at the very end, here's the facts. These two are the ones we really start out with. Okay, not in the original trilogy, but I mean, not in the prequel trilogy, but in the original trilogy. These guys in Episode 4, in the first Star Wars movie, these guys are the first things we see. Really, these are the first two characters we meet in Star Wars. They are so important to the overall arc of all of Star Wars. So why wouldn't we just end Star Wars seeing these two characters? I feel like if we saw these two characters and you see, I got this idea from Collider, so shout out to Collider. I forget who actually said the idea, but their idea was C-3PO would look at the camera and say, and these were the Star Wars. Like, they were joking. They were joking, okay? I understand that it was a joke, but I really liked... I was always going to end it on R2-D2 and C-3PO. Always. But I really liked the idea of, yeah, why wouldn't R2-D2 and C-3PO be sitting there and talking about, well, about writing a story, you know what? And that's the way I did. That's the way I did. I didn't have anyone actually come out and say Star Wars, but obviously R2, his idea for naming the series would be Star Wars, you know? And I like the idea that C-3PO didn't like it, so he didn't actually say it, but it's obviously implied that the story would have been called Star Wars. Like that, I felt like that was really cool. So shout out to Collider. They're the ones that gave me that idea. Obviously, it was a joke. They were joking when they said that, but I really liked the idea, and I went with it. I went with it. I actually thought it was really cool. Darn funny. Other than that, I think I said just about everything I wanted to say about my version of Episode 9. So, this is going to be the last video I make on my fan-made scripts. Now, I am reviewing every Star Wars movie at the end of every month or the beginning of every month, and I've already reviewed 1, 2, and 3. Then I will be doing Solo next month, and then the month after that will be, of course, Rogue One, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll obviously have 9. So that will be absolutely great. To really end the series, I just want to say this, okay? I am a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I really do. Now, Episode 8, I've said my part about Episode 8 a million times. The fact is, Episode 8 really left me with a bad taste in my mouth. I did not like Episode 8. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. There are certain parts of it I do like, but Episode 8 is not really the Star Wars movie of a lifetime. And I really just don't like Episode 8. And you know what, Episode 7 wasn't that bad, but it definitely wasn't any better than what came before it. The fact is, I have high hopes for Episode 9. And, granted, not deserved high hopes. Like, seriously, definitely not deserved high hopes. But I have hopes for it. I have hopes for a good movie. That's what I want. I don't want to see my story copy and paste into Episode 9. No. In fact, my story is going to be 100% wrong. I'm pretty sure of it. But, I just want a good movie. I just want a good movie. And J.J. Abrams, I trust. I just want a good Star Wars movie. Let's hold out hope that it is at least a Star Wars movie. And for those of you who just absolutely is fed up with all of Star Wars and will not watch Episode 9, I'll say this. Episode 8 was bad, but give Episode 9 the chance it deserves. Because here's the thing, this is Star Wars. This is a series that I love, that we all love. Why wouldn't we give it the chance? I'm going to give it one last chance. Now granted, if it's a bad movie, I'll say in my review, if it's a bad movie, I will be fed up with all of Disney Star Wars. I will always love it. But I am holding out hope. And I'm giving it the chance that it possibly doesn't deserve. I want to see a good movie out of Episode 9, and I actually think it is going to be a good movie. I have good hopes, I have good feelings about it. I know a lot of people don't, and I just encourage you, I will even plead to you, to give Episode 9 the chance that it doesn't deserve. It doesn't. Disney doesn't deserve this chance. But I am giving it a chance, and if someone dork like me is actually going to give this movie a chance, I feel like you should too. You need to give this movie a chance. Thank you guys for watching. And, I love Star Wars. What can I say?